Hi everyone, welcome back to the Luxe Rentals YouTube channel. If you don't know me, I'm Cassidy and I own Luxe Rentals. So today it is almost 4th of July. 4th of July is next Tuesday. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow I have a grab and go of a 4th of July balloon garland. So I thought we should do it together and I can teach you more about how I do balloons. You can see the process and you can see how to do a fun 4th of July garland. So I'm going to be using red and white and like a midnight navy blue. Those are the colors that the client picked. I did get a question recently how I figure out colors for clients and stuff like that. And honestly, there is like a zillion different ways that I do this. So over time, you get way better about looking at the colors, knowing what colors you can mix, knowing about the brands and all the different shades and all the things. There's so much to know about it, and which ones are best and all the things. So over time, I have definitely learned about different brands and colors, and I figured out what colors look best together. I also just have like naturally a really good eye, I think, for putting colors together. So I think that helps me a lot. But yeah, sometimes the clients have like pictures that they want to go off of, and maybe they'll change a color or something like that. Maybe they want those exact colors. Sometimes they'll send me pictures that I've done. They'll find ones on the internet, so that's like a really easy way. And then normally I'm easily able to figure out the colors that are in the pictures. Another way is they'll just like tell me the types of colors they want and I'll kind of go from there. Sometimes they'll get into more specific shades because you know, there's so many different shades of colors that you can do. I'm like, there's so many different ways. Sometimes they'll kind of tell me the theme and stuff like that, and I'll figure out colors from that because with the different shades and stuff, you can do some really different pretty natural shades that can be in the same color palette, but they can be a little more pretty, if you want to say that, or you can change it up so it's a little bit different than what you normally see, but it still fits. So yeah, but today is a pretty standard red, white, and dark blue garland. Last year I did a 4th of July garland just on my house for fun, and I did this pretty like sea glass blue color. So if you can picture it, it's a little bit like lighter blue but not too light, and that was really pretty too, and I liked that a lot. But yeah, today the client requested a darker blue, so let's do it together. Okay, so the colors that I ended up going for were just plain white. I did a mix of like Kalisan and Tuftex white. Those whites I just kind of mix and match. It doesn't, if it's just plain white, I just do that. And then I was going to do Tuftex metallic midnight, so it's kind of like a metallic navy, but then I went through it and I realized when I got to the big size I didn't have enough of the big size, so then I just did Tuftex navy. And now Tuftex, I think, canceled regular navy and they came out with naval, which I have that around here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where I put it. But yeah, I just went with navy for now. And then I was going to do Tuftex regular red. Yeah, regular red, is that what I was gonna do? Yeah, but then I didn't have enough of the regular red size, so I actually have metallic Starfire, so it's kind of like, it's just red, but it's kind of slightly metallic, and I had that left over, so I ended up doing the metallic one as the red, and I think it'll look really cute. Looks like this. Now we can start putting them together and blowing them up. Back to balloons for a second. I found my navel. It was right here up top. But yeah, it looks like this. It's really just navy. It's just and maybe they changed the shade like a tiny bit or something. I'm not really sure, but I used it once already and it's just like a navy blue. I used it for a graduation party where their colors were gold and navy and it looked fantastic. So yeah. So I ended up doing this is a 5-foot balloon garland. So normally I do like a cluster, a color. So I ended up doing 1 white, 2 blue, and 2 red. So that should turn out looking really cute. And I think I'll blow up a couple with you just to show you how I do it, and then I will time lapse the rest. I'll go ahead and do red to start with. So when I do my clusters, I like to do 6 balloons in a cluster, and that normally gives me around a foot of balloons. So what I normally do is I do half of around 11-inch size. So I have 3 and 3 of these. And then what I do is I'll either do 3 of the like 17, 18, 19-inch size, or I will do 2 of these and 1 like 24-inch size. It just depends if I have the 24-inch, and it depends kind of like just on the job and what's available and different things like that. But of this red, I did have enough to do 1 24-inch and 2 18, I think they're 17-inch, and 3 of the 11-inch. So that's how I'm gonna do this. Of the navy blue, I had to do 3 and 3 of the sizes, and the white I did 3 of the 11, 2 of the like 17, 18-inch size, and 1 of the 24. So that gives me a little bit more of like an organic look because there's different sizes happening in it. It still would look really good if you did all of like the 11-inch and the 17, 18. I kind of just modify it depending on what I have. I like to keep it around that ratio, but sometimes if I don't have enough 11-inch or if I don't have enough big, I'll like fill in with those. But I do my best to keep it around those sizes. So I've showed this before in a previous video, but what I like to do is take the big one in my right hand and the smaller one in my left hand, because on my pump, the right hand, my shirt was like tickling my leg and it kind of scared me. But on my pump, the right side is the push down side that the air comes out, and then the left side it doesn't. So the big one always has to inflate longer than the small one. So that is why I do it, but I will inflate these at the same time. So you kind of want to watch for when it starts to get like pointy at the bottom, and you want to let enough air out that it becomes more round. And then this one I just hold in this hand, so this one I'm going to let a little air out. This is pretty round for them. It just kind of depends on the bottom, and you'll get more used to that the more that you do balloons. But this is looking pretty good for this. Sometimes of the balloon brands and the different colors, they're going to be a little more pointy just in general, and you don't want to let too much air out, so you kind of just got to play around and get used to what that looks like. So now I'm going to take these and I cross them over like this, and then I will twist them around once, and then I will take it, and you want to pull so you have a lot of slack, because I tie the balloons together by the necks normally. If I can, I do that always. So you want to make sure that it's tight enough. None of the balloons I'm doing today are double stuffed, but if they were double stuffed, I would go and pull the inside balloon and I would not tie the outside balloon, because otherwise it's going to be too hard to tie the clusters together. So here we have it, and I'm pulling it, and now we've got our 2 balloons tied together. So this is like the bigger size and the smaller size. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I just do 1 cluster at a time, and I like to twist them together as I'm going, but sometimes people will just leave them how I just had it and then they'll twist them together at the end. It's just your preference, it really doesn't matter. You can see it's getting pointy. Let enough air out of that, and then this one I kind of let go as I was doing the other one, so sometimes that happens and then it looks good. Sometimes you'll let too much out and you'll have to redo it, just depends. So let's twist that together, pull it. These Tuftex metallic colors can be pretty tough and they can be harder to tie, so sometimes you're gonna have to hurt your fingers a little bit on these ones. But now I'm gonna take my 2 this. They can be harder to twist together, so you just gotta be not afraid, basically. But now we have this, and now we're gonna do one more of the 17 and 11. This one looks pretty good. Sometimes I blow it up good just how it is, so just kind of gotta decide. All right, I have this, and now I'm gonna add it in. I always take the small balloons and I grab them by like the base, and then I will twist them in. These metallic ones can be more tough, so you just gotta be a little bit careful, but here's what this is looking like for now. And I'm wearing this, and it's kind of risky. I don't have my rings on because balloons and rings can be scary, and normally I don't wear a bracelet, but I wanted to just to look nice in this video. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it on just because I can push it down a little bit. But yeah, just be really careful when you wear jewelry. I'm going to time-lapse myself doing the rest of all the big balloons, and then I will come back when it's time to do the small balloons. All of my big balloons blown up, 5 different clusters there. Don't mind the toy mess in the back. A little kid life. But yeah, it looks great. This is giving me, you know, the kids baseball theme. This is giving baseball to me, but it's super cute. I love the colors together. So now I'm gonna show you how I do all the small ones for this. So I've got my bucket of small colors. I guess since I showed you the red, I'll just do the red first. So since I have 2 clusters, what I like to do for one cluster is 2 sets of 4, and then I will connect them with one of these 260 linking balloons. These are just like the really cheap ones that you can get on Amazon that are like a random brand, because these I don't actually blow up and use them. I just use them to tie things together, and I will tie these balloons together with them. I'll use these on my setups, and I just like them because they're stretchy and they're balloon material, so they won't like hurt the balloon. So because I am doing 2 clusters, normally I would do 8 per cluster of balloons, but now since I have 2, I'm doing 16. So I counted out 16. I am going to, if you're using just one of these blowers, this will be fine if you're blowing up not double stuffed balloons. If you were blowing up double stuffed balloons and you only had this inflator, you'll want to pre-blow them up, double stuff them, and then blow them up the rest of the way, because you'll have a really hard time trying to blow them up otherwise. But if you are going to be blowing up a lot of double stuffed balloons, I would recommend the small blue inflators that I have, and I can link that for you if you would like. So I put the little nozzles on because these are so small, it's hard to get air in them, and they won't fit over the other ones very easily. So I'm going to take 2 at a time. And they're kind of pointy, so I'm gonna deflate them so they're more round, and then I'm going to twist them once and tie them together just how my other ones. These don't matter if you pull these, because I'm not going to be tying them in. Some people do tie them into balloons with this, but I like them to sit on top and be more decorative, and sometimes if they are small like this, they'll just get pulled into the big clusters of balloons. So that is why I go with this method, and then I can always move them around really easily, and just it's way easier to do. So there's 2. And do 2 more. Ooh, I just pulled my hair with that. Okay, so now I have 2 and 2, and I'm going to twist them together 2 to 3 times. And there's 1 cluster of 4. So I'm going to do this one more time. Pull those so that's fine. And these, like, none of these have to be perfectly the same size at all. You want it to be organic looking, and you don't need it to be perfect, like, because they don't have to be the same size. Sometimes these all actually turned out pretty similar in size, but sometimes they do not, and that's totally okay. So now I have two, and I'm going to take one of these, and I'm gonna go around the base of any balloon, doesn't matter, and I'm just gonna tie it around there. I'm gonna double knot it onto there so it's tied on. Then I'm gonna take the other one and just take any balloon. It really doesn't matter because you can always twist these around after. Double knotted it on there, and now we have this. So now what I'm gonna do when I have them all together is I'm gonna take this and I'll twist it around, and then I can move these around and they look so perfect. I find that 2 of 4 like this looks the best and looks the best, most finished on the balloons when it is done. So yeah, now I'm just gonna go and do this to the rest of all the small balloons that I have, and I will come back. Okay, so I laid out all my balloons. If I have like only one of one color, I always like to stick that one in the middle because otherwise it's gonna look kind of weird. But I decided, and then normally what I have been doing is I'll do like one color and then another color and then that, and then I'll go and just keep going down the line because it could look cute if the reds were on both sides and the blues on the outside, but to me it just looks better if, and a little more organic, if the colors, you know, aren't like that. I don't know how to explain that. So yeah, I just did it like this. I think it looks super cute. So now I'm gonna start tying them together. So I always just start at one end. It just kind of depends what you're doing and everything, but this red is going to be a little harder to tie in because it is the metallic one, but I'm just grabbing 2 necks in there anywhere, and then I am going to, I kind of just fit them together in the best way that I think could work. And now I am pulling those 2 necks and I am tying them in a knot, just kind of how I was tying them together before. So there, I got that done. And now those 2 are tied together. This is the best way I found to put them together, where they're gonna be tight enough and they'll stay together and look really like connected. Other ways that I've done it in the past can work, but they don't, I don't know, they don't look as crisp together, if that makes sense. So what you can do too, now sometimes what I do is open this up. So I will pull one over and kind of push this middle one down a little bit. And then I'm going to, and you can also do this like, you can also do that in a way before you have balloons. So I like to put them like this a lot, but you can also take them and twist a big one and a small one, and they will be like this. So it kind of just really depends on how you want it to look, and you can always change it once it's on your garland too. I'm going to change this back, so now I put it back like this. And sometimes I like to try to put the really big balloons on the outside in my head, if like that's the way the garland was gonna go, because you don't really want those really giant 24-inch ones on the inside. But they're gonna like block the inside of your garland, if that makes sense, of whatever you're putting on. It just depends kind of what you're putting on. So like I said, this red is harder. I have my like Starbucks drink here, and I'm gonna move it over so I don't bump it on accident. So I like to try to grab these smaller necks in here of the smaller balloons because they can be stretchier. Oh jeez. Okay. I just pulled it and I think it's okay. Sometimes when I pull it like that, they'll pop apart, but we're good. I got it. So sometimes this can take a little bit to get the right ones you're looking for. So, all right, and they don't have to be perfect when you put them together. Right now I have these in like a really weird formation, but you can always move them once you have them tied together. The biggest thing is getting them tied together. So now this is like curving weird and these are on here weird. So what I'm gonna do is play with this a little bit. I have like some bigger balloons right here that are kind of clashing into each other. So let's see if we can fix this a little bit at all here. It's this really big balloon back here that's kind of messing with my flow of these. Okay, we're just gonna kind of leave it like this, and then at the end we can fix it if we need to. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna twist the way that I was, and I grabbed a small neck on this one. I'm gonna grab one here. Feel that's stretchy enough. I'm going to twist these. Let's get this last metallic thread in here. This can be very challenging at first to tie these together. I've had a lot of practice, but when I always bring people on to help me do balloons and I have them try to do this, they're like, that is way harder than I ever thought it was. So you get used to it, just doing your best. It can be really frustrating for a while, but you'll get the hang of it. Okay, so now here is my long garland. And I am going to, this one I kind of flipped right here so they're out, and I'm gonna do the same with this one. This is the one that's bothering me down here anyway. This is just going to be a little more challenging because I have this metallic one. Okay. So there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So that is looking so much better now. Balloons are really just like a trial and error, play around with it till it looks good type of thing, and sometimes your perfectionism wants to show through, and you just have to accept that they're not going to be perfect exactly how you want them sometimes. And you just gotta say, nobody's gonna notice, they look great, they're good. And you have to like let it go. Okay, so here is this. It looks way better now. I'm very happy with the way that it's looking. All right, good. This, I believe, I don't know if they're gonna put it on a wall. I don't know if they have like their own backdrop or what they're doing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put all the little balloons on since it's a grab and go. If I was going to do a job where I was setting it up, I would leave it like this and I would put the little ones on at the end once I have it all set up. But since someone is picking it up, I'm not gonna do that. For the little ones, I normally start at one end and work my way to the other. If I was doing a job where it was like ground up on a backdrop, normally I always start at the ground and I work my way up. And I do them straight in order because it's easier to, if you have like blank spaces, it's easier to maneuver them around. And then once they're all on, I'll go and adjust them even more. And I'll make sure that the little necks aren't showing, the little white balloons, I do my best. And also like where I tied them together in here, sometimes you can see them. So I try to like cover those and make sure all the things aren't showing. So here is my blue balloon, I'm just gonna stick it right on here. I will pull it around and then I'll pull that one around a couple times. Great. Now with these metallic ones, they can be a little more challenging. This one. Also, like, it doesn't have to be perfect right now because they're just going to pick this up and it's going to be pushed all around when they're transporting and when they're setting it up and stuff too. There's that. These are curving a little bit, but they can easily be pushed straight out. And that looks really great and cute. Okay, so here is my cute 4th of July themed grab and go garland, 5 feet of balloons. My grab and goes are either 5 feet or a little bit bigger because of the sizing of balloons that I use, which I'm totally fine with because then they look more epic and awesome and everybody is always super happy with them and loves them. So yeah, it turned out super cute. I will do some up close shots and different shots for you, but thank you for following me along in this tutorial. Also, since it is a grab and go garland, I'm going to supply some of those 260 balloons and hooks for them to be able to hang it and give them some direction on that. But that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.